Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So a new meta is about to start, so we're gonna break it down real quick for you and give you guys the projected MVPs of this meta, and then a few days in or a week in I will upload my deck breakdown once I have actually kind of like tested and fine-tuned it. So as for right now, what we need to know about this meta is it's a nuke meta. It's extremely open. By extremely open, I mean you can use just about every type of champion, really. There is very few champions who would kind of be significantly more difficult to use because of the nodes. And that means, yeah, most of the players will largely rely on, all of the rank 4s and then kind of the more compatible rank 3s. The only real thing to note is Astral Sense, which means that the parry-heavy champions will not perform as well. Basically means if a defender would be struck by a basic attack while stunned, 100% chance to purify the stun and evade the attack. And that's about it. You know, fight or flight, so you need to pay attention to one timer, because opponent will gain unstoppable buff for 4 seconds, unless you're far away from him, in which case you gain it, so it's a node that you can easily play around in most circumstances. And we have Foresight, which makes it a significantly more nukey meta than majority of the recent ones. First of all, let's kind of break down the biggest offensive winners here, some champions that will perform very well offensively, and then additionally some extra defensive threats. So first things first, what you need to know is Bullseye now is a two-way champion again, because with 200% Fury and guaranteed crits and the bleed being affected, Bullseye is actually a fairly nukey champion for the next meta. So any champion that he's quite good for, he's going to be very good for. And what you need to know is obviously that he bypasses miss flat out, so that makes him a compatible champion to tackle some of the newer defensive threats as well. And after he's level 1, he gains true accuracy. At that point, he can start parrying normally. So yeah, there you go. Bullseye is going to be viable in attack again. Maulman is tremendously good offensive champion because initially you can use his true accuracy to just parry heavy, gain some charges, drop 2 heavy attacks, let's say. And then you can rely on his unstoppable and effectively counterpunch the opponent, gain 200% Fury, guaranteed crits, bleeds, stuff like that. Bullseye is a nuke in the new... Sorry, not Bullseye. Maulman is a nuke in the new meta. Right, then moving on, Kate's back. There's this Kate is so busted. It's like every 2 months or so there's a meta where she's like crazy, and this is one of those because again, you give her cold snap 200% potency, she gets easy assisted guaranteed intercept, and that's it. That level 1 will effectively cook most of the fights very quickly. And the reason she's back is because she takes so many different champions, including like, Zolas and whatnot. So you're going to see Kate Bishop running around because she's going to be, again, significantly faster than normal. Pam is actually going to be quite good here because with Fury, you can effectively just get level 2 and nuke opponents. And once you actually get your first couple of intercepts in, you make opponents' AI more aggressive. That makes it easier for you to intercept. Also, obviously has his like fail safes and getting smacked too hard in the head by the opponent, and the fact that you just control the fight quite well and positioning, and he's gonna be quite good two-way champion here because defensively again, he can mitigate the 200% Fury in instances due to his glancing and due to his damage cap from a single hit. So he's gonna be more potent than normal. Red Skull, which is one champion that I wouldn't have guessed is going to do as well as he does, but he kind of does, because again, 200% attack increase doesn't mean too much if you can't ever like crit or do damage to him, so he's still going to be a viable defender. And the big thing is that if you give Red Skull 200% increase in attack, that will also include his shock damage, include his level 1 burst damage. And he can take any random fight, even if he can't, get his level 2 and they're dead, or like a couple of level 1s and they will still be dead. And he does quite well here. Then Vision is also a very solid pick for the new meta because of her phasing and the way if you phase it opponent's dash attack, it will count it as an intercept, and then you kind of solve all of the issues really with Viv, because you do get the benefit from the attack boost, and then there's no issue with Viv's damage loop having enough damage really either. And yeah, but she is still going to work marvelously. So if you have picked Viv, this is going to be a meta where she does enjoy, significant benefits. And Starhand Spider-Man is still going to be an absolute monster because he has never relied on parry stun, and giving this beast an additional 200% attack is just, crazy work. Deadpool X-Force is again back to his good sporting form. There will be a number of fights that you will be able to finish with just a level 1, basically. Or 2 level 1s will definitely finish anything off. Because, 200% Fury on those big bleeds. A sight to behold. A very dangerous champion in the next meta. Keep an eye out for that. Then we have Onslaught. Onslaught's going to work as normal, basically. Onslaught's going to do just fine from the mutants. What is important are Jean Grey and her passive stance, and that's how I also highlighted Onslaught, and I believe I'm highlighting... No, I'm not highlighting Negasonic because Jean Grey is the new Negasonic. But anyways, the point is, with Jean Grey, as long as your force field's up, you get your passive stun, which does not get shrugged off. And then again, the fight does become significantly easier because your parry is back on the menu. And that is significantly important for a handful of matchups, for instance, like Bullseye, who's also going to be a potent defender, because, you can parry him safely, either to wait out the wait timers or, do what you need to do in the fight, and you do not need to take massive block damage or dance around too much. So she is going to be quite great for a bunch of that stuff. Then we have Count Nefaria again. Easy assisted intercepts on one of the more versatile champions in the game does in fact make him significantly more potent. Yes, it is going to be Nuke meta, and he's not going to be the fastest one, but the amount of matchups he takes, and typically he's quite slow for, with that 200% extra Fury from the beginning, does help him quite a lot. So Count Nefaria should be doing quite decently well. And Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman's still going to be crazy. Again, because initially, even if you can't parry, that is fine. But later on, you shut down opponent's weight completely, and that helps you give her 200% damage increase, and combine it with the fact that she takes just about every single defender in the game. Makes her crazy good. Additionally, Spider-Woman, who you can't parry and then hit her, is more potent on defense as well. So she's again going to be a very, very potent, nasty champion in the meta. MODOK is perfect for this meta because you effectively need an evade counter if you're going to want to deal with MODOK. MODOK's very annoying after his buff, and basically the way to fight MODOK typically involves parry heavy, which is exactly the type of thing that you can't do right now. So again, you're going to need either those passive stuns or evade counters, and then heavy attacks. So yeah, MODOK is going to be a problem that you should be very well aware of as well. Spider-Punk is going to be a solid two-way champion because you can't parry and hit him, and you will effectively be forced to either use an evade counter or, bait out heavy attacks and then punish those, because you can't intercept him, he will evade you. That also means you can't really benefit from the 200% Fury, and you can't parry to find openings, so he's going to be, reasonably nasty, in my opinion, as a two-way champion. Because with a 200% Fury, his level 2 absolutely destroys everything, and your goal is, just build up level 2, and he's going to be wrecking on attack as well. Especially given the fact that, he has assisted intercepts and safe intercepts, basically. So, there you go. He's going to be good. Very good. We have Tiger. Tiger is going to function effectively, virtually unchanged, which is awesome. Tiger is also neutralized champion, so Unstoppable is not going to be an issue in tempo fights. And Tiger is going to be an absolute beast. Obviously, America Chavez can still execute her full core rotations because that Shrug of No does not affect passive stance. So she's going to be a very solid champion there for sure. And in general, many of the Mystics will do fine. I don't think there are too many that I need to highlight. Obviously, your Nikos are still going to be great. With the buff immunity, you don't need to worry about Unstoppable. She does have some phasing ability, if need be, for a guaranteed intercept after her level 1-2. in order to get that extra fury there. And, you know, there's going to be most of your normal Mystic champions will still function crazy. Juggernaut's a crazy champion. Juggernaut you do need to kind of highlight because, yeah, the man is going to be an absolute monster with 200% fury and easy intercepts on Juggy. Man, he's going to finish fights out quick. Besides Juggernaut, in Cosmic class we do have Medusa. You're going to be working decently well, get your armor shut on, and you can parry quite easily, so it means just, you know, very initial bit of the fight is what you need to worry about. So Medusa is going to be very nice. Also, defensively, Medusa is going to be more potent because, you know, when she does have her auto block and 3 furies active, you typically do want kind of like the parry and heavy her until you can get rid of the furies or do something, but here that is harder to execute, so she will have kind of like situational defensive value more so than she typically does because of the nodes, and offensively she can bypass their way, then, you know, she'll function very well. Then we have Null again, just the fact that you can parry and start smacking the opponent with your mediums or heavies, and in order to ramp up, get the 200% fury, finish fights normally faster than you would. And since this is a Nuke meta, his interaction with Inequity and him kind of being able to stall the fights out, that's going to be quite useful. Thanos is a menace. Thanos is completely menace. He's still going to be defensively viable because of his protection and his ability to stall things out. And then offensively, he's just a beast. He shuts down their Wade, and then his passive stun bypasses that. And then his counterpunch lets you get easy intercepts. Man, Thanos destroys in this meta. And so will Serpent. Serpent's still going to be perfectly viable in both directions now, because with 200% fury, Serpent's going to finish out most of the fights significantly quicker than he normally would. Additionally, he has true focus, so he stops their Wades, so he can play, you know, relatively normally after his first special attack. And defensively, he's still a threat, as always. Cal, if you have selected Cal, should work relatively well also because of his true accuracy on the 3 Thanos' favor charges. So again, Cal is going to be one of those few parry heavy champions, or champions who rely on heavy attack that you can actually get away with using in this meta. And then moving on, now this is where we need to talk definitively, because Yelena is going to be a monster. Yelena is crazy. It's an effectively auto ban, or unless you effectively have like one of the very few champions in the game. Even with a good counter, Yelena is going to take longer than just about anything else in this meta to kill. The reason that she completely switches off that fury you gain, right? Because against Yelena, furies don't matter. And yeah, she's a menace. She's going to be obviously offensively viable too, even though if your Yelena isn't banned and you draft her, you should just about never use her in attack, because again, on defense, she's can do better than just about anything. Like for me, in this meta, she's just out in the auto ban category, even though I do have rank 4 Yelena myself, but it's just ridiculously frustrating to use to Yelena in this meta in particular. Right, another champion I want to give a shout out for, if you do have High Signova, that Unstoppable that he might get could potentially cause bit of a problem with his SIG ability, because durations buffs can be increased by up to 80%. And so instead of that 4-second unstoppable, that can turn out to be like 7-second unstoppable or something like that. And that is a long ass unstoppable that you need to wait out, and then you can try and punish the opponent basically. So, and as a two-way champion, he also can obviously function quite well, because offensively he's still going to be useful. So I do think that Nova users will be quite happy with the meta. Moving on, Longshot. Longshot's a finicky one, because here he's a bit harder to use on attack, because you can't like parry heavy, but you can still ramp him up relatively well if you can dex opponent's special attacks and stuff. The 200% fury on Longshot will still allow him to finish fights very well. And the thing is, he's also kind of more finicky on defense because of that unstoppable buff. And the reason for that is, again, if he's half decent SIG, the way he's going to work is that either he gains the unstoppable and you need to wait it out, and it's kind of annoying and you need to keep an eye out for that, or you gain the unstoppable, in which case one of the two things is going to happen. Obviously, either he doesn't nullify it and he will just gain some Mystic Dispersion later for it, or number two, is going to be him nullifying your unstoppable, gaining karma, and going unstoppable for up to 7 seconds, which is a fairly long amount of time. Additionally, one of the way how you get rid of his karma is while you strike him when he's stunned, but you can't really parry and hit him anymore. So long shot's a bit finicky champion play around, and then there's obviously Thing, because any Nuke meta, well, will kind of invite things to get used. Right, there you go. That is kind of like a short prediction of the MVPs for this meta. As I said, once I can kind of fine-tune my deck a little bit, I will upload that and explain my choices for what reasons. And that's it for now. Best of luck. I'll be going live very soon. Bye-bye. Hello there, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all